Hello, culture gone bad is back. Drippy, I feel like August has been a very bad month, like ridiculously bad. What's going on? How do you measure August? I had to give a lot of feedback this month as well, so I can say it's been very bad.
Right. I think while you were having disasters in your life, I was in Greece enjoying my
Having the best time.
having the most relaxing time in a forgotten island and in Athens. So I think from that point of view, we may have two different memories of August.
You know, our society is getting more and more stratified, and gap between you and I is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
If I had to put a visual image of how I see this month, Pulp Fiction, after he injected the adrenaline into her chest, and when we're going back in the car and her whole shirt is covered in blood, that's how I feel.
Great.
I know, right?
What happened to you?
Oh, geez. I got COVID. I think this is third time I got it.
The third time.
Third time.
You are his favorite victim. COVID's favorite.
I mean, after all, being a victim these days could be an advantage.
Exactly.
So
put it in your CV.
That's it.
No,
I'm a COVID survivor.
That would be amazing. I'm a 3 times COVID survivor.
Yeah, I'm resilient. I'm resilient, bitch.
Use everything.
And anyway, for me with COVID, the worst thing about it, it gives me headache and brain fog. So I've been like stupid throughout the whole August, like dumb.
Good.
That's
why you got the mullet.
That's it. Yeah, practicing my female reptilian brain, it was really challenged. Like I was dysfunctional. And in the midst of being dysfunctional, having fatigue, I was like struggling to get out of bed. Anyway, so I was in the street and my phone was literally stolen out of my hand.
Wow.
Just here in East London on the street.
Wow.
And on the guy in delivery bike, uniform, jumped from the road on the pavement on a bike behind me, grabbed it and just drove away. To be honest, I think maybe it's silly of me. I thought we kind of got out of times when people do such brutal robberies. I thought today.
No, it happened to me as well.
Yeah. Okay.
In Milan, yes.
Milano.
Yeah.
Oh, Dolce Vita.
Yeah. I think if they see you, that's why they always advise you not to carry a phone in your hands when walking.
I was not walking.
Cities.
I was not walking. I was standing.
Yeah, but you had your phone in your hands.
And I think I was still brain fogged, so I probably wasn't thinking straight. But that was quite marvelous because I was on the way to airport, and because of that, we missed the flight. And we because obviously I also had all the details on my phone, like everything, and basically it was a mess. And I ended up spending evening with police. I was meant to be in the airport, but I spent an evening with.
That sounds really a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. Police was asking me if I remember the color of an eye of a delivery driver. I was like,
the color
of his eyes.
Why?
Because we needed to draw a portrait.
To
identify. I was like, he's wearing a balaclava. You know what? Every day now, I'm browsing, I don't know, Farfetch. There's a big fashion for balaclavas. Like every fashion brand is in balaclava.
Yeah. After Demna Kvasalia.
I'm offended. Yeah. I'm fucking offended. I think it's antisocial what we are allowed to sell balaclavas just like this.
Yeah. When I grew up in Italy, I grew up in Sardinia, which is an island where there used to be, now not anymore, but there used to be in the 90s and 80s a huge number of Sardinians, people of my region, kidnapping rich people because it's a destination for rich people. And I remember it was forbidden in Italy, at least in Sardinia, but I think in the rest of Italy as well. It was forbidden to wear balaclava probably because of that as well. And probably in the south for mafia. Yeah, so it was forbidden. I don't know why.
I don't know. Now, basically, balaclavas and Deliveroo gives me chills.
course.
And
I wonder whether it was a real Deliveroo guy or
I
whether it was
mean,
pretending
after
to be.
all, we live in a geek world, you know, everyone is trying to hustle. So I imagine he's probably multitasking. You know, he was probably delivering food and he was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
and
might
stealing,
as well grab someone's phone. Yeah, to be honest, like I could see my phone location and everything, and police would do nothing about it. And police also asked me, Alexandra, why are you so worried and upset? I'm like, excuse me, like my phone is stolen. I missed the flight. How do you think I'm supposed to film? They're like, oh, not too big. There's going to be another flight tomorrow. What a way to live. Like useless. But anyway, the best thing is my insurance company and my network provider mixed up my details, and I got blacklisted and I got accused of stealing a phone. I spent 2 weeks talking to call centers in India, which was just marvelous. No one was helping me. I was, you know, sent on this merry-go-round, like stay on the line, I will connect with someone else. I had to tell the same story maybe 200 times. And they kept on blacklisting me, blocking me. At some point, I also was told what my phone is not an iPhone. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, tell me what's my phone is. And they were like, why don't you open settings and check what is your phone? GP, I think my reality, my idea about people having any sort of a skill or professional in this world is gone. Like, I had the most surreal conversations. I've been told, you know what, I don't have an iPhone. I've been asked, how did I even manage to acquire this phone? Yeah, just fucking put a delivery jacket, guys, you know, and like went around London looking for a phone. Like, how do you think I got a fucking iPhone in my hand?
Jesus.
I literally, and you know what, Drippy, like I understand, yeah, maybe some questions or maybe some ways of how we communicate things, maybe they don't come across straight, considering people on the other half of the world, maybe they expect something different. But I thought it was a very simple thing to sort out the phone which was stolen. But they basically blocked my new phone, they unblocked my stolen phone. Insurance company tried to claim a legal sort of warrant against me because they thought I tried to fraud them. It is just ridiculous, you know, considering I've been robbed.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they try to protect themselves because a lot of people pretend that they use insurance in this way. So I think they were somehow trying to protect themselves from frauds, and they do this all the time. Like, for instance, when you go to a call center, they have very few people working, and they're usually never enough, and you have 10 minutes of explanation of like press, if you have to do this, press 1 and then press 2, and then they send back to the main menu, and then you press wrong and it's a hell. And they do it on purpose. It's not because it makes the service more smooth, it's because they want you to be pissed off so that you call them as little as possible. So well,
it didn't work with me.
It's a very wise use of bureaucracy, I think, that they do, but wise for themselves, that makes the life very difficult for us, but makes their service more difficult to access. Therefore, they are less bothered by us.
You know, I think it's dumb of the type of conversations I've been having and this type of questions I've been asked, like, you know, to tell me well, it's not an iPhone, but no, I don't know what I have. Do you think I'm talking to my hand? Or maybe I'm using my hand as a phone? I don't know, guys, like literally, what do I have anymore?
Wow.
And after that, I had to go to bank to verify my identity. And
what do you mean?
I had to go to bank to verify my identity as part of a claim. Went to bank and basically went with my passport. And you know what bank told me? They told me that they can't read my name, so they won't be able to help me.
They can't read your name because it's in Cyrillic?
No.
I
have a British passport. They just told me they cannot read it. I'm like, are you familiar with British alphabet? They just didn't tell me anything.
What?
Drip, I'm not making it up.
What do you mean they can't read your name? It is like scratched?
No. I think we'll reach the point in our society where people have zero skills, zero qualifications to do anything. I literally have no hope for humanity. I think it's a miracle what our world
Wow.
somehow still functions. What what planes take off, what tube works, what something is on the food shelves in food stores. I think it's incredible what anything's functioning, because the level in which our society is today is beyond me. People unable of doing the simplest job. We can't even read letters. Like, we got to the point where they told me they think letters in my passport are not clear.
Wow.
Yeah, GP, I literally think it's been a surreal month and culture gone very bad.
I'm very sorry to hear. I didn't have the same August.
No.
No, I mean, August was pretty weird this summer was pretty weird for us in Britain because it was extremely hot.
Maybe
and
brains melted.
very
Maybe that's
exactly
it.
very much unlike any other summer. So maybe, as you say, brains melted. That would be a good explanation. Well, good.
How was your summer? Tell us, Chippy. What
So,
did you get up to?
I told you I have been 10 days in Greece. It was very, very beautiful. Athens. Have you ever been to Athens?
Oh, I had not known.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very fascinating city. And you can really get that despite Europe is very often said to be, an expansion of the descendant of Greek culture. I mean, not Europe, but Western culture, because Europe is a different story, but Western culture derives to some extent from British culture. At the same time, though, Greece, like the south of Italy, is already 1 foot in the Middle East, 1 foot in North Africa somehow, or in the Middle East. And Athens is a very peculiar city, if you go, because it reminded me of Rome under many aspects. Not so much from the structure of the city, that's very different. The structure of the city is very much like Los Angeles, with these huge, huge streets, and you need a car to go.
Wow.
Yeah, you need a car. The streets inside the city, in the middle of the city, are huge, humongous. But it reminded me of Rome because so Rome is obviously a very unique city. I think it's very stratified, and you have everything in Rome, from ancient Rome to Baroque to a little bit of Middle Ages, and then some more modern stuff, etc. So Rome is a unique city from this point of view, comparable to no other city in the world. But what I think Athens shares with Rome is the human side. Is this mixture of warmth and also people are very sociable, warmth, Mediterranean warmth, and these marvelous landscapes. So in Athens, you really have ancient Greece and ancient Rome as well, because the Roman structures are very, very prominent in the city. And then you've got modernity, nothing in between, very little in between. So yeah, structurally it's very different from Rome, but the human side of it reminded me of Rome. Very hot as well, which is beautiful. And then I went to Evia, which is an island not too far from Athens. Wonderful. And I enjoy the museums because they are just amazing. And you know what? Extremely well curated.
Really?
Yes. The Acropolis Museum is fantastic. The Cycladic Museum is amazing. The Cycladic art, the prehistoric, beautiful sculptures. And so very, very beautiful, very well curated. So yeah, and the food is good.
Amazing.
So that was my summer, and I came back 2 days ago. And struggled in adjusting because it was full summer. It was like 35, 36 degrees there, and then I land and it's already autumn and it's already winter. And this morning when I woke up was already autumn was through, and I was like, wow. Now, Sunday, I'm going to Italy again for a few days. So I'm going to have another glimpse of summer before the long, interminable winter. Winter is coming.
Oh, well, indeed. This is the favorite phrase of a successful TV series, Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we now have a new spin-off, The House of Dragons.
Right. Is it with same actors?
As far as I have seen, no, this is completely new cast. Because I think all actors were very offended and abused in the previous one.
Oh, really?
I remember there was some like, remember
Are they
who,
survivors as well? Like
yeah,
you?
yeah, survivors. Yeah, I can probably jump on the wagon now. As far as I understand, well, you know, this Emily Clark actress, who I think was everyone's favorite. She was
Is it the blonde one?
yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I understand, she said that she was abused, sexually objectified, and
Really?
it was yeah, like I think.
Okay, abuse and objectified are two different things, because objectified people use it for anything.
Anyway, I understand she in the end gave an interview and she said she didn't enjoy it. And I think
Okay.
like from what I've seen, this is completely a new cast. Maybe my brain is still
Right.
so fogged. I can't recognize faces.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a similar style to original Game of Thrones. And I somehow kind of wonder, in the reality of today, so much violence, so much mass, like why audiences are captivated by something which is even worse somehow. Do you think it sort of makes reality feel a little bit better when we watch TV series like that?
To be honest, I think that this is the human history for it has always been the human history. It's not something that happens now with Game of Thrones. Wars, think about the Odyssey or the Iliad. So wars are fascinating to mankind. We love wars. We are not a peaceful species. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. We need to have both sides. This is what keeps us alert. This is from an evolutionary point of view, it's natural, it's normal. Okay, so it's better to leave it, sublimating it through a TV series or a myth or a book than actually going to war, right? So this what strikes me about Game of Thrones is that Game of Thrones mimics the Middle Ages in a phantasmatic way, which portrays a reality that cannot exist. And this allows them to exit reality and to fall in contradiction without contradiction. So from this point of view, I prefer Game of Thrones, which creates a parallel sort of middle-age-like, but not quite middle-age reality, than a series like Hollywood. Did you watch the series Hollywood?
No, I haven't.
Horrendous. Or Pose. Horrendous, because they do something else. They don't try to create an alternative universe. They don't create an imaginary. They use an existing imaginary, a historical happening, a historical period. Pose like the 80s in New York and the rise of HIV, etc. And Hollywood is the real story of the great, classical Hollywood cinema, but they both project a postmodern, woke fantasy onto the past, which cannot really exist. So you are constantly disturbed. It's almost schizophrenic. At that point, if you have to take reality and pervert it to suit your political views of the present, because we can't accept anything in fiction that doesn't mimic our system of values today. So at that point, I prefer Game of Thrones that at least invents a new imaginary. And if they want, and they make everything coherent in a way, because everything is fictional. Okay. So I prefer that than creating a fiction over something pretending that it really happened that way. Does it make sense?
I guess in our society, we like simulacra, right? It's like completely invented. And I think it's also what Lincoln calls heterotopia, right? It's like a place where everything is possible. Murder, rape, magic.
In fact, that is the fact that everything is possible is, with me, it's amazing. That is fiction. Everything should be possible. The problem for me is selling something that is imaginary as if it was real. That is the problem for me, is the confusion of the two plans, because I still believe in reality. Okay, it's not a very postmodern attitude.
Question reality big time.
Which is so fiction is precious, but this does not make reality akin to fiction. Fiction is precious precisely because there is a reality that is different from it.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. And then next level of, I don't even know if it's reality or simulation, the Gucci advertising campaign?
Before going to Gucci, I'm going to tell you one thing. Now, I was talking about Game of Thrones. I didn't finish watching, not even the first season. And that is because, TV series have a double type of narrative. One is called a vertical narrative in semiological terms, which is the narrative of the single episode, the story that is told within each episode. And then you've got the horizontal narrative, which is the narrative of the entire series. Now, I liked very much the vertical narrative. I had the same problem with Mad Men, by the way. I liked very much the vertical narrative, the way in which each episode was crafted, very beautifully crafted from a cinematic point of view. My problem was the horizontal narrative. I felt in the first season, I struggled to go from one episode to be motivated to watch the next episode. So I didn't finish watching it. So our audiences will forgive me. I did watch a few episodes of the first season and then I didn't survive. Sorry, back to Gucci.
No, I'm actually gonna say I watched the whole Game of Thrones, like 10 seasons. And
10 seasons.
I think so. I think
Wow.
it was I don't know, maybe 6, whatever.
A lot.
And I actually thought that was a big selling point, this horizontal narrative.
Yeah. No, I am sure about it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be successful. Of course, I am the sensitive one here. I'm the wrong one here. So I am sure that it was good. What I'm trying to say is that I didn't see this in the first couple of episodes. And I have this with books as well. I always read the first couple of pages. If I'm not hooked straight away, and this is entirely personal, is entirely a personal thing. If I'm not hooked straight away and desire to watch avidly the next episode, I don't endure. I don't. Does it make sense? So if I am pretty sure that if I waited 5 or 6 episodes more, probably I would have carried on, but I didn't see this within the first couple of episodes personally. So
very curious. So how do you read books, Juppie? So let's say if someone you really trust recommends you this book, and you start reading it, and first chapter you just don't click with it at all. Do you just give up, or you will?
Unless I have to read it for some reason, because I'm writing a piece about it, because I need it, I need to be content and satisfied straight away. Otherwise, I quit it. But this doesn't happen very often because I am very quick in understanding if I like a book or not. So usually I go to the bookshop, I read the first page there, I see if the writing style of the author, if I like the writing style, that's the main thing. The story for me, it's second. I need to like the way it's written. So yeah, I read the first page, and if I'm hooked, then I carry on.
Very interesting. I have this tendency. I don't know if it's some sort of a mental condition. I sometimes have a book, and I'm not a fan of it. Or what does tend to happen, I can be a fan of a book, and I read first couple of chapters, and I really like them. But then at some point, I feel like it's telling the same story repeatedly. But I have a thing, I like to finish what I start. And I kind of force myself to finish it. Maybe not that attentively, but I want to finish it because I get, I don't know, some sort of immense satisfaction from finishing books.
Yeah. No, I have the same. I mean, I feel guilty when I abandon a book. I always feel guilty. That's the reason why I pay more attention when I'm choosing what to buy. Then so that I avoid to have to abandon. It doesn't happen very often that I abandon books because I think beforehand about whether I want to read a book or not. So because I also, like you, have this sort of super ego telling me you have to finish this, you have to finish what you started.
Yeah, careful what you pick.
Yeah, exactly. Careful what you pick.
Wow, so fascinating. Yeah, I do like sort of to complete everything. So yeah, it's an endless list. It's an endless list I like to tick off, cross out. Yeah, it's very satisfying. I was looking at the Gucci's latest campaign, which is video and images. And I think it's a perfect example with everyone's brain
Mm,
and any memory of anything, I don't know, even
yeah.
a few years ago is completely gone. We're just recycling ideas, like horrendously. You know what? I think next campaign we will just take, I don't know, Picasso's Guernica and just literally slap model in front of it.
I mean, this was done by Beyonce
And Tiffany.
and Jason. So
yeah, but like
it's even difficult to find some to imagine the next move, because even the next move is a recycling that has already happened before. So
yeah, like we even picked the movies which were like so abused, it's even boring.
Yeah, not only everything has been done already. I mean, our perception is that everything has been done already, but even every replication, every use of everything that has been done already. So we are in a sort of vicious circle. So the ad, for who hasn't watched it, please go and watch it.
Or don't.
Or don't. but just to laugh at it, it's a movie by Merton Marcus, and it's basically the scenes from Stanley Kubrick's most famous movies. There is everything from Shining, Barry Lyndon, Eyes Wide Shut, intertwined with the garments of the collection. And it's horrendous. It's a useless sort of display of clothes and money, and it's truly horrendous. And it shows that what bothered me was not the fact that it was failed, was the fact that it was lazy. I can forgive ugliness if I perceive an effort, but this one was lazy, and laziness is not forgivable. Ugliness is, laziness isn't forgivable, I think. And as you say, is the postmodern ethics of recycling okay? But we have seen this since the 80s, since the 70s, okay? So why do we still need it? Come on, it's even old. Fashion should be about the new, not about the old.
Now, you know what? I would get it if, let's say, they would pick some movies which are rarely, you know, talked about, rarely referenced.
Yeah.
If they would find some archives, maybe avant-garde movies, maybe even some sort of experimental filmography from even 20th century, but not like established and well known, I could understand at least they would have demonstrated they have done some research. But it almost looked like they went on Google and they were like, top 20 most popular movie of 20th century, here you go. It almost felt like that.
Yeah,
this is like the shocking aspect of it.
Exactly. So this is a very important, so now to reduce postmodernity to the quotation and copy of something that has of the past is wrong. This is not what postmodernity is about. Because if you take, for instance, Hamlet, is already a transformation of Oedipus. The story of Romeo and Juliet is already the transformation of a Grecian myth. So, and if you look at neoclassicism is nothing but if you look at Canova, the beautiful sculptures of Canova is nothing but the reproposition of classic sculpture in Greece. What is the point with postmodernity? It's not the copy. It's the fact that the inspiration is chosen with total indifference. It could be one, it could be the other, doesn't make a difference. This time it's Kubrick, next time it will be, I don't know, Beverly Hills, the TV series of the 90s. Everything is chosen with total indifference. The point is copying. The point is not the reference, okay? And then another thing is the fact that it's mimicked without elaboration. Now, if you look at the 2014, I think it was, collection of Prada inspired by Fassbinder and by Beuys, you have to really, really, really look for the reference because it's not obvious at all. So what Alessandro Michele would have done would have been to look at Fassbinder's Petra von Kant and recreate exactly the same clothes with minimal changes. But Miuccia Prada copies in a modern way, not in a postmodern way. And the way is what you were saying, researching not any source, but very well-chosen sources, select, so a process of selection and a process of transformation. Postmodernity, and Alessandro Michele is the perfect example of this, does not elaborate, and does not select carefully. So this is, I think, the sort of the very jaded and tired sort of late postmodernity.
And, you know, I truly understand, you know, what I always reference the Frankfurt School and Adorn and how he outlined, we always have almost like templates. You know, there's going to be the antagonist, there's going to be the hero, there's going to be some drama, some twist. And if this is the type of a sequence you like, today algorithm will recommend you this. Like if you like this, you'll enjoy this. And I get it. And there is no way we can invent new stories like Romeo and Juliet, tragic love. Like there's going to be a story like that. It's just different ways of interpreting it. And as sad as it is, probably these human beings are a bit limited with experiences and sort of flow of these experiences and what we can resonate and what we can culturally appreciate and appropriate. But at the same time, I just think, it's ridiculous what there's lack of effort, lack of any sort of trying to reinvigorate all these classic stories and tragedies. And
the question is, how long will Gucci carry on for?
I think they can carry on forever. No, Juppe, I think this is a problem. I think we live in a time where, like, you know, open TikTok. I don't want to, you know, sound judgmental, but I think we live in a society where most of people have no idea about these movies. They probably are not even interested. And for them, most of people who will look at this content
will perceive it as new.
Will perceive it as new. And you know what? You know, hate me, cancel me, but I had horrendous experience. I had horrendous experience this month when I talked to people about a very simple problem. I'm blocking my phone, and every day it was a Groundhog Day, me doing exactly the same thing. And what I realized, the person I spoke to yesterday has completely zero recollection of what we have done.
No, this I agree with. The time span is however, what I'm talking about is not even the film, it's not even the type of communication that Gucci has. I'm not focusing on that now, I'm focusing on the clothes. You can make Kubrick appear new because young people are probably ignorant of Kubrick and maybe they don't know very well what Kubrick made, etc. I'm talking about the clothes. If you look at the collection, at Alexandru Michele's collections, it's very, very difficult to find differences between the first collection in 2014 when it was and today. So that's what unfortunately that is constantly under our eyes. So that ages. You know, Kubrick may seem new, but the clothes that they put inside of the movie, those are already old because they have been the same for seasons. I think that the strategy of Gucci is that initially they were a sort of a brand that everybody was looking at, everybody was buying. And then Alessandro Michele, because he's not able to change his own strategy, what is happening is that he is looking for a niche, a very solid niche, and talking only to them because they will carry on buying Gucci. So I think that I agree with you, postmodernity will carry on, but I think Alessandro Michele will finish.
To be honest, I hope don't so on this care. I only hope my fucking phone works and I have less ridiculous conversation, at least till the end of this year. I really think culture gone too bad. You know, all these services, all these companies, and then they always send to me, Alexandra, are you happy with my service today? I was like, is it a joke? And then I would receive an email asking me, can you please rate the experience from 0 to 10? And the next question would be, how much would you like to repeat this experience? You know, Juppie?
To be stolen the phone.
and some of them, would you like, you know what, the only person I'm still waiting to they contact me trying to steal my login details, pretending they have found my phone. I mean, the delivery employee or whoever contractor. But I'm still waiting for him to message me and ask me how I would rate his service from 0 to 10 and if I would like to repeat the experience again. Yeah, Drupi, I think.
How do you rate things? You know, and I'm going to disclose this to all the Uber drivers listening to me. I only give 5 stars to the Uber drivers who shut up when I get into the car. Okay, that's my one thing. You have to drive reasonably, you know, well, okay, that's important, but you have to leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm an introvert. I don't want to speak to people. So the moment in which I sit on a taxi, on a car, I want to be left alone. And if somebody leaves me alone and gets me to where I have to go, 5 stars.
No, I enjoy talking to Uber drivers. I like to talk like, you know, about their life, because all of them usually have some side hustle, and I find it quite interesting. And I'm quite curious to talk about the trade and which way, like how it works, how much percentage we get. I don't know. For me, it's quite interesting.
The thing is this, two things. One, I hate small talk in general. I don't.
Oh no, I get straight to the business. How much money you're gonna get from this?
Hold on, that's the thing. That's the thing. I hate small talk, so I don't do small talk. I mean, it makes me very uncomfortable in general, but then there is a second problem that it happened twice. I was talking to Uber drivers about some maybe deeper things. We were talking about, they were Muslim.
Simulacrum.
They were Muslim, both of them. And I think, or maybe one was Christian. Anyway, one was certainly Muslim, and it happened to me twice. And I kept talking about, because I've been to, you know, one of my favorite places in the world is Jerusalem. And especially if you go to the Golden Shrine, which is the place where Muhammad allegedly flew to the skies after you know, his last night on earth walking through the desert. So I told the driver that I've been there and that I thought the Golden Shrine was fantastic, which it is. I suggest everybody go to Jerusalem and go there because it's amazing. And I have great respect for any faith, of course, but I'm an atheist and I want to stay so. And the moment in which I said that I've been there, because that is the 3rd most holy place in the world for Muslims, the Uber driver did not understand that I was culturally interested in it, thought that there was some faith in me, and tried to convert me, and started giving me, you know,
how can you be converted in Uber?
YouTube videos of some imam who preaches online with very questionable ideas, by the way, but that's a different story. And he was trying to convert me just because I was interested. So he didn't get that I was interested in the culture. It didn't mean that I want to, you know, convert. And it happened twice, and that makes me very uncomfortable. So if avoiding small talk means getting into this type of situations in which it becomes a little bit too close, then I prefer to. That's the reason why and I don't know how to handle these situations. That's the thing, not just with Uber drivers in general. So,
I mean, I don't know how to handle anything. You know, after all, no one can read my passport. I don't have an iPhone. And you know what?
You've got nothing now.
I have no identity.
No identity. Good.
Yeah, maybe it's good. Maybe I can start everything all over again.
Yeah,
Does it give me a second chance?
You can be a spy.
I can be a spy.
Nobody can trace you.
No one can trace me yet because I have no identity at this point. Wonderful, wonderful, Drupi. So how would you rate August from 0 to 10?
The first part of August, I would rate 6. The second part of August, I would rate 8. The trip, I would rate 9. But in general, you?
You know what I do with emails about feedback? There's a very good button, send to trash. That's what I do.
Right.
I'm sending it to trash. Yeah, coach is coming back. Till next time.
Till next time.